Before you fast forward through this intro, let me explain what we are doing. We are walking through our bets. These are the actual bets that the three of us are putting on these fights. I'm going to talk in units. So to you, a unit might be $100. To me, it may be $10 or anything across the spectrum of money. So if I'm talking about I'm betting a half of a unit, and a unit for me is $10, well, that means I'm betting $5. Okay. So it's very simple. It's very straightforward. Whatever amount of money you want to bet and you're interested in spending, break that down in the units and you can follow along. Again, these are our bets and what we are doing. We're not here telling you what to do with your money. We're just telling you what we're doing, and hopefully you'll get some value in that. So Dan, I'll hand it over to you. Go through your bets. I noticed this week you have far fewer than you normally do. So talk us through what you've got going on and the logic and everything else.
Yeah, so I saw a few decent opportunities this card. One of the fights fell off. I did have Stolyarenko. I was going to take her at plus 3.5. I was going to get plus odds on that. I was going to get 3.5 points on the scorecard. So that fight fell off. So that's no longer here. But with the bets that I have left, I feel pretty good about. So I got Derek Brunson. I honestly think he's just going to win this fight. I think his wrestling is going to be too much. If he fights a smart game plan and just grinds on his opponent, I think he will win. So at plus 150, that was an easy money line bet for me. Grant Dawson, I got him at minus 200. Didn't love the odds. I think I could have gotten a better deal earlier on, but wait a little bit and got him at minus 200. But I just think he's young. His wrestling is going to wear down the older opponent. And I just, anything other than a quick sub or a lucky right hand, not a lucky, but a good right hand early on, I don't see him losing this fight. And I see by the second or third round, his opponent really getting tired and getting beat up. So I took him on the money line at minus 200. Then we got a couple prop bets. So I got Bruno Silva getting 3.5. So for those of you,
why don't you explain what that means for people that I definitely know what it means. Like I really do know what it means.
Right.
But there's probably people watching like that don't know what it means. So explain it to me like I don't know, but I do know. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, if it comes down to a judge's decision, all of the points for each fighter are added up. So if it's 30-27 across the board for one guy, you take 30 points times 3 for that guy, 27 times 3 for the other guy. You add all that up, and then whoever you picked gets the number of points that you got. So essentially the quick way of explaining it, and there's a bunch of different scenarios, but when you get plus 3.5 points, if your fighter wins one round on every judge's scorecard, you win the bet. So bets that I think make sense, fights that I think make sense for this bet to happen are ones that are going to be close fights or closer than the odds would suggest. So I think Bruno Silva is a lot tougher than the odds are giving him credit for. He's been very scrappy and in a lot of fights against tough competition where he borderline, I thought it may have won some of those fights, certainly split decision type material. So I think he's just going to be in this fight. I think his opponent's going to wrestle, try to take him down, but he's shown a lot of good takedown defense. He gets up, he scrambles well. He's got some takedowns of his own. So I just think it's going to be a scrappy fight that's going to be close. So if it's a close judge's decision, he'll get 3.5 points. And I think I could cash that way. Or on these bets, if he wins in any other way, if he wins by knockout, you cash on the bet as well. So I bet 1.4 units on that just to cover the minus 140 line. The other thing that bet does is it helps you get off of, it gives you, well, in this case, it goes the other way, but generally it gives you better odds than if you were betting, like if you were betting the favorite who's a minus 350, you could give up 3.5 points and get better odds. So in this case, Bruno Silva, who I think is he was a plus 150 at one point. you take slightly lesser odds, but you get the points on the scorecard. So if you feel pretty good that the fight's going to be a close fight, could go to a close decision, sometimes taking those points is a good bet. Next up, I got Bruno Silva again, wins inside the distance. Not a high level of confidence in this one, so you can see it's only a quarter of a unit. But I do think if he's able to prevent the takedowns and scramble well, his opponent has showed that he's gassed a couple times in fights later in the rounds. And I think he's going to have to work hard to win this fight. I think Silva definitely has the striking edge. So I could see potentially if Bays is not getting his way throughout the fight, by the second or third round, getting a little tired, getting pieced up on the feet. So I thought it was worth a quarter of a unit for plus 160. That's not the right.
Well, because you have it's plus 160 because you bet decision, no action.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm thinking of the Dawson fight. Yes. So decision, no action. Right. So it's not on here, but I have another bet with Bruno Silva inside the distance. Sorry, Angelo, I forgot to tell you that.
Well, so very quickly, for decision, no action, you're not going to get the best odds in the world, but there is some nice protection there. So he's basically saying plus 160 odds for Bruno to win by stoppage. If Bruno loses by stoppage, you lose the bet. Right. If Bruno wins a decision, or if the card goes through decision at all, it's a push. You get your money back. That never happened.
Exactly.
So it's a nice way to protect you. And honestly, the odds are not plus 160. And the only way you lose your bet is if the guy you bet on gets stopped is solid. So you'll see wins inside the distance on a prop bet line, and you'll always see the no action or the decision no action one is lesser odds. But depending on the matchup there, that's always a solid bet.
I want to just see now what I got. I think I got plus 300 odds for him inside the distance. So I did a quarter of a unit too on him inside the distance. So I did one that was kind of hedged, where if it goes to a decision, I push. Then I did another one for the better odds, where if he does get the finish, I get 3-1 on it.
Ooh, Angelo doesn't like when you hedge bets.
Ooh. Yeah, well. Anyways, next up I got Grant Dawson inside the distance. Another one that I don't know. I think it's a good bet. I'm not 100% confident this is going to happen, but I'll tell you what, Grant Dawson is a grinder. He's a good wrestler. He's very okay with staying on top, chipping away, tiring you out, staying in half guard, landing punches. And I just think if his opponent does not get something early, he's going to gas hard in the second and third round, just like he did last fight. And if that's the case, when you're that tired, there's always a chance to get finished, whether it's pitter patter, ground and pound, or a big shot. So I thought for half a unit at plus 300, I think that's a live bet as well. And then last one I got is Montserrat Ruiz. Same thing. I took 3.5 on the scorecards. So I think this is going to be a close fight, especially if Montserrat is in shape. From what I saw in her interviews, she sounds like she's ready for this. She's excited for it. She's been waiting for it. When she found out the news that she was fighting in the UFC, she was just getting back from a run. So I think if she's in shape, this could be a close fight. And like I said before, all she really needs to do is win one round on the judges' scorecard. And we cash this bet. So we'll see. I will say her opponent, Bays, is very, very good. The tape I saw on her, she hits hard. She looks like she can wrestle. So looks to be very physical. So I think it's going to be a tough fight. I don't know that she'll win it, but I think it could be closer than the odds suggest. So took that, getting 3.5 points on the scorecards at plus 150. So feel pretty good about these bets. I'm probably going to surf around tomorrow, make a couple other ones. I think what I'll do this week is add them in the comments as I make them. Last week, I placed some last minute bets and I added them in, I think in the comments like the next day, but just to kind of keep it on the up and up, I'll put them in the comments as I add them throughout the day tomorrow.
Yeah, I do like the Montserrat Ruiz one. So I have her, if I move over to my bets, I have her straight money line, but it would be nice to be protected with the 3.5 points, because let's say she loses a split decision, or, wins 2 rounds or wins 1 round and loses 2, I could still win that bet. So I do like what you're doing there, and I may go find that myself. So I have 2 fighters on the money line. So money line is just straight up, I think these fighters are going to win. I have Montserrat at plus 265. It is a last minute, sort of not super last minute, but I think a week, 10 days, something like that. Her opponent is very good, but she's gritty, tough, grindy in her fight style. And I think she can get it done. And I'll take those 265 odds. And then Derek Brunson, we've talked about this in multiple videos, including our breakdown video. I think Derek Brunson genuinely wins this fight. So I'll take that at plus 150. And I don't have a ton of bets this week because there wasn't a lot that really stood out as, oh, this person is way undervalued. Let me throw a ton of money at that. But I did throw a prop bet at Roman Dolidze for wins inside the distance at plus 135. So if you're not familiar with Roman, he's a multiple-time world champion grappler. He's a massive human being. He was a heavyweight. He's now fighting at middleweight. He's undefeated, and he has power in his hands. His striking isn't super technical, but he has a ton of power. So I'll take plus 135. I don't see that fight going the distance. So that's in my opinion, a great bet. And then I have 2 parlays. What I do with my parlays is I don't look for those long shot, plus 3,000 odds in a parlay. What I like in a parlay is I'll take who I think are guaranteed winners, at least in my opinion. And unfortunately, the odds for that person to win the fight, like Dolidze, was minus 450 or something like that. Jackson was like minus 850. So what I do is I take these people, I put them together, and I get favorable odds. So I'll start at the top. I took Tuivasa, who I think is going to win by knockout. I took Griffin, who I think will probably win a decision. And I took Dolidze, who could win by stoppage. And I'm getting plus 235. So 3 big favorites, and I'm getting plus 235 odds. And then my second one is Dolidze. We got a lot of money on him. And Jackson. So Jackson, I mentioned, is like a minus 900, 850, something like that. I paired him up with Dolidze, and I'm getting minus 101. So basically even money odds on them. So I'll take that all day because those should be 2 guaranteed wins. And I just mash them together, and now I have even money on that. So pretty conservative week. I did full units. So I guess it's not conservative in the money, but I did full units because I'm pretty confident in these, especially these parlays. I'm very confident in these parlays, but I am pretty confident in these bets. So I'll move over to you, Jacob. You're going against me, and right out of the gate, I'm Dolidze hard. You're going Giles. Why don't you explain why you're going Trevin Giles?
Yeah, I want to first announce that we are starting a Patreon to try to fund Angelo's kids' college fund because he's about to lose all his money on Ramon, all of it. So I have, first of all, the lock of the week, the biggest lock of the week we've ever seen. This is the biggest lock of the week we've ever seen, the most confident lock of the week. I got plus 550 odds on Michigan Wolverines to win the NCAA tournament. Lock of the week, write it down, plus 550 odds on that, 1 unit. The second biggest lock of the week is Trevin Giles. If he wins, it's going to be because Roman gets tired, second, third round, but I feel like it's definitely going to be an inside the distance win for him if he gets the job done. When he gets the job done. So that's an easy plus 300 for me on a half a unit. The next one is to kind of hedge that bet a little bit. Obviously Trevin is going to win the fight, but there is, wild stuff happens in fights. Sometimes weird stuff happens. Stuff that shouldn't happen happens. We saw eye pokes. We see wild stuff. So there is a chance before Roman gets so tired and exhausted and TKO'd that he somehow finds a first round submission when they're both dry. He's got energy. So I hedged my bet a little bit, got plus 650 odds on someone that's a great grappler like him. That's a no-brainer for a half a unit. The next one is Ruiz. I think she wins that fight. I think she's ready. I think her grappling is being underestimated. She finds this fight on the ground. They get this fight to the ground, and Ruiz is so nasty and so tough. I think once she gets in that position, it's just going to be elbows. This is my chance. I'm in the UFC, short notice. I'm taking advantage of this, and she goes in for the kill. And these odds are wild because Ruiz is tough and can get it to the ground. And if you're that tough and on the ground, a KO, TKO is very possible. And plus 2,500 plus 2,800 plus 3,300. I just put a half unit on all those because I think she wins a fight, and I think she can win it very easily on a ground and pound TKO. The next one is Santos. This one was very surprising because Santos is a fantastic jiu-jitsu guy against a grappler. So he's fighting someone that wants to take him to the ground. So the chances of submission are already high. Plus, he's an unbelievable jiu-jitsu guy. So plus 550, I couldn't believe. When I was looking at the props, I was thinking maybe I can get him at like plus 200 for a submission win. Plus 550, I almost threw a whole unit on it. But I kept it conservative and went with a half unit on that. The next one was a late draft pick, but I knew that I had my eye on this because both those guys are very tough. But you've seen cardio issues with both of them, and they just both throw so wild and they're both game to fight that I just feel like one of these guys is going to knock each other out. I don't know who it is. I think it's probably Griffin's going to knock out Song, but I think this is just boom, boom, headshot, and one of them drops. And I'm confident enough in that to bet one unit at the plus 135. My parlay this week is a little more conservative than I'd like to see. I'm trying to get back on track with the parlays. I've been winning some prop bets. I've been doing this, but I'm trying to get back on track with the parlays. So I start off with JP Buys. I think he's just much better than his opponent and can control the grappling game. Gregor Gillespie, I went with him. I think he's on the next level compared to his opponent. Kevin Holland, you guys don't like Kevin Holland, and maybe it would have been smarter to throw Brunson in here if I would have thought Brunson was going to win, but he's definitely not going to win. So it was a pretty no-brainer for me to leave Holland in my parlay. And then Chiason, I think that's kind of a no-brainer there against her fighter. She's fighting someone that's 43 years old, and they're kind of setting her up for the win. So I like those odds as well. So if you put them all together, that's a plus 456 on those. They're all favorites. So I put one unit on those, get back on track. So those are my prop bets, Michigan all the way.
I mean, so just again, for anybody watching, these are our bets. These are our actual money. So Jacob and I completely disagree in the Trevin Giles pick. For some reason, Jacob's positive he's going to win. I'm positive he's going to lose. So this is our money. We're not telling you what to do. We're telling you what we are doing and what our bets look like. If you want more information on any particular fight, check out our feed and go find that video. We break down every single fight in detail and how we think it'll go. All of us do. So you'll get to hear from each one of us, get different perspectives, and make your own decision. Jacob, for you, real quick, why don't you just leave Kevin Holland out of your parlay? He's the favorite. It's probably the closest fight of all of these. You could probably keep very similar odds, get 350, 375, and now you only have a 3-leg parlay minus the sketchiest dude in the whole.
Sketchiest dude. That's in your opinion, Angelo. He's not the sketchiest. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win the fight. If I didn't think he was going to win the fight, why would I put him in a parlay if I thought, oh, he might lose?
Because you get obsessed with these giant numbers. That's why.
No, I think I have him in my DraftKings lineups. We made videos. Everyone go back and watch the videos. I said he's going to win the fight. If I think he's going to win the fight, I'll put him in a parlay. What kind of question is that?
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to your 12-fight parlay next week.
Unbelievable. Don't tempt me.
Well, either way, thanks for the watch. Comment down below. Let us know what bets you like, what bets you don't like, and what bets you found. I'm waiting for, I forgot to touch on this before. There are no prop bets yet for the Tai Tuivasa Hunsucker fight. They just added that yesterday or the day before. They haven't put out prop bets yet. I'm very interested in those prop bets.
The inside the distance,
probably like minus 600.
Whatever, I don't care
each
what
guy
it is.
KO.
Inside the distance, take that bet. I'm gonna find that and take that bet. You can do whatever you want with your money, but I'm taking that no matter what the odds is with a full unit and not even thinking twice inside the distance. And we've touched on it. Watch our other videos.
Full unit. It's going to be negative 700.
I know.
I don't care.
That's what I know. So
you can buy yourself breakfast the next morning with it.
A lot of the sites aren't even taking, they're maxing, they're capping what you can bet on that fight. So we'll see what tomorrow looks like. If I find something solid, or Dan or Jacob does, as far as the bets are concerned, or the prop bets with the Tai Tuivasa fight, we'll definitely come back. We'll post something in either the feed or the Facebook page or in the comments. So just keep an eye out for that. That's the one fight I was hoping I can get some solid props on, but they're not even available to make an analysis out of. So thank you for the watch. Comment down below, and I'm looking forward to watching the fights with you. Let us know what you think. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests. And as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.